All right, fuck it, let's get it. Yes, sir. What's poppin' with y'all? Welcome back to another motherfucking episode of the Until Further Notice podcast. I am the flyest, highest, coolest, smoothest host of them all. OG Hatchman. You know what the fuck it is, man. What's up with the motherfucking people, man? How the fuck is y'all doing, man? Hope you're out there looking good, feeling good, staying safe. It's a whole lot of shit going on in these shoots to tell you shit each and every motherfucking week. I want to shout out to everybody around the world that's tapped in, joined the motherfucking me conversation, man. I truly appreciate it. Episode 71, man. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a very special episode, man. It's not special because I'm special. It's special. We got a very special fucking guest, man. Somebody I truly think is one of the dopest motherfuckers out here, but she just act like she ain't that. One of my dear friends, man, one of the people, when I first thought about doing this podcast, I thought about bringing them on because I just want to put the spotlight on them because I truly think she deserves it. One of my dear friends, BriBucks, man. How the fuck is you doing, Bri?
What's up? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Nah, I'm happy you came on and gave me the time out your day. You a superstar. I tell you that every time. You a superstar. You be acting like you ain't no star, man.
I'm not. I'm trying to be one. You know, I'm just a superstar in the making. I ain't there yet, but you know, we gonna get there. I'm
pretty sure you're gonna be. Everybody know you're gonna be there. You act like you ain't gonna be there. We know you're gonna be there. You just can't forget about us when you make it type shit.
Oh, never. Y'all gotta keep me humble.
Nah, facts. You know I will by cracking jokes and keeping shit silly. Like I said, you know when I first met you, you know what I mean. I tell people all the time, man, you gotta keep track of the people that come into your life as inspiration. Now, a lot of times when we talk and I crack jokes because it's like that's the only way I can try to keep shit at a normal level because it's rare you come across people around your own age group that inspire you. You know what I mean? Like I said, the only people I know that really inspire me is people in my family that I hadn't seen do shit. You know what I mean? You gotta see them do shit like that. Right. But it's rare when you meet somebody like you, when you just come into their life and you see them in a certain phase of their life where they're getting shit going. You know what I mean? And that's something I noticed from you from the first time I met you. So it's an honor for me to have you on the podcast because you are another reason why this podcast started. This podcast was just an idea. It was just something that was going to be an idea. You know how motherfuckers say they're going to do something 20 years later, they say, damn, I wish I would have did this.
Yep.
You were one of them people that when I seen you doing something that you truly believed in, I had to do it my motherfucking self. So once again, thank you for coming on to the pod, being a friend.
Of course. Anytime, anytime.
For sure. Now we're going to start off how I do it all my guests. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I understand that it's a lot of shit that's going on here in these streets that get a lot of you know what I'm saying, focus and attention that really be a lot of bullshit a lot of times. So I understand that a lot of times the most important shit don't get brought to light. So what I want to do with you is do a mental health check. You know what I mean? On a scale of 1 to 10, you know what I'm saying? How are you physically, financially, emotionally, all that good shit?
I'm never going to be a 10 ever because I think there's always room to be better mentally, physically, financially, and all of the above. Sure. But I'm going to say I'm a good 8. I'm good. I ain't where I want to be, but, I ain't where I was at before. So I'm good. So we're going to drink to that. Where you drink at?
You see me reach for it? Jesus Christ, I got a problem. I was reaching for it.
I didn't even see that. See, we on the same wavelength already. Let's get it.
Already. But now, I mean, that's good. It's I think an 8 is a good place to be. You know what I mean? Like I said, me personally, an 8 is like damn near a 10 in my book, just because I am somebody who deal with, some depression, anxiety, and mood swings and shit like that. So on a constant basis, I'm around a 6. I ain't gonna fake it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to hear you say that you had an 8, that's good, especially around the times that we in, all the bullshit that's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you maneuvering through that shit just to stay successful. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important, and I'm glad to hear that you had an 8. It's shocking, you know what I'm saying? You a motherfucker that traveled the motherfucking me world, you traveled. You got me hooked on Fiji. I still want to go to Fiji type shit.
Hey, we going. Let's go. Where we going to Fiji?
Look, man, the fucking water. I ain't never seen no water like that in my life. I'm colorblind like fuck. I was looking at that water.
Now that's hilarious because I be forgetting that part of it. Oh man, that's hilarious. That's before you got the glasses and everything.
Exactly. See, I was just all I seen was St. Louis bullshit ass tap water. But when I seen that shit, I was like, nah, that's fucking water. I gotta get out there type shit. That just opened my eyes up to want to do more shit. That's what I'm saying. You don't understand what the meeting you actually did. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just looking for a motherfucker to do my hair type shit. Yeah, everybody, this is the woman that does my hair. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bri. She keep me looking fly, look icy spicy type shit. You know what I'm saying? She keep the pussy right up. You know what I'm saying? But
You're
but it's
welcome.
huh?
I said you're welcome.
Of course, you know what I'm saying. Everybody go check her out as well. It all mixed up. But it's like with meeting you, that shit kind of opened me up to want to do more shit. That's when I started traveling and shit like that. That's when I started wanting to actually go out because I seen you moving how you was moving. And you're not from out here in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like seeing somebody come out here and start tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you the shit. I tell you that.
Thank you.
But I do also want to ask you this. You know what I'm saying? I mentioned the times that we're in. You know what I'm saying? 2020 and 2021 was some crazy ass times. I want to ask you, what was the biggest difference for you? Because you did a lot of things during that time frame. You know what I'm saying? You launched a new location for your business. You know what I'm saying? During the start of COVID. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie to you. I never told you this. I never told you this. So when you first moved to your location, that's when shit literally shut down.
Yeah.
So when that happened, that was the first thing I thought about. I was like, damn. I was like, that's fucking tough. I was like, I'm nervous. How is she gonna maneuver through this? Because everybody else was, you know, so either that was just starting was fucking up, or other small business people was, you know, some collapsing. So it's like I want to ask you, what's the biggest difference for you during those times because you succeeded through that shit?
No, that's interesting because I wonder if a whole lot of other people thought like you, like, yeah, this shit ain't gonna work out for her.
Well, it's not gonna work, but it's just like, yo,
but
like if
that
it's a
timing is
tough hill to
terrible.
climb. Yeah, like
It's
I'm
weird
nervous.
because it was kind of like a blessing in disguise because when I moved into my salon that I have now, it was April of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's literally when everything went to shit. But when I signed my lease, my landlord gave me 3 months free. I negotiated 3 months free rent. So we were closed for 6 weeks. It was cool because I wasn't obligated to pay him anything while I was not generating any income. But
Right.
my plan was to just stack bread them 3 months and be working and grinding for 3 months and not having to pay nobody.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way, but at least I wasn't obligated to pay somebody while I wasn't making no money. But also, your girl's a hustler, so I did pull in a whole lot of grants during that time. So I was kind of getting some money. So it was cool. But to answer your actual question, the difference between 2020 and 2021, I think I have a lot more clarity in what I want to do and the direction and path I kind of want to take my life in. Most people don't know I love doing hair, but I'm not going to be doing hair forever. I'm not a laborer. I'm not, and that's not the goal to be braiding hair when I'm 60. Like
Yeah.
that's not,
That's dead.
that's
Nah.
not it. I don't
You gonna
care
have
how
carpet
good
tunnel
I
and all
am.
types of shit.
Right. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's not the goal. So I think, from 2020 to 2021, I have a lot more clarity on what's next for me. At the time, I knew it was something. I didn't know what it was, but now I'm a lot more clear on the direction that's kind of next for me in the next
Yeah.
phase of Briana.
That's another fucking level up because this phase is crazy. This phase is crazy as fuck.
Right?
But it's interesting, you know what I'm saying? I say it's a blessing in disguise because it's cool. Like I said, you are a hustler. That's one thing I can't say. You know what I mean? A lot of motherfuckers that I know that do hair, they don't have that drive to take it to the next level. You know what I mean? Like it's a clear difference between what you're doing and what your mindset was when I came into the trend and knew you
Right.
from other motherfuckers I know that just be doing hair. I know a lot of motherfuckers that's cold with doing this shit.
Yeah.
But they don't got that hustle and that grind to like want to take this shit to another motherfucking level. And it's clear that you do. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting you say. So you don't want to do hair for the rest. You know, that's not the end goal. What is the primary, you know what I'm saying, focus long term? You know what I'm saying? Is it to have multiple shops and just be, you know what I'm saying, pimping that way?
No, like I don't. It's weird because I never wanted to do hair full time. Even when I went to beauty school, they asked like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I like doing hair. I want to learn it, but I don't want to do hair full time." I always said I didn't want to own a salon. So I kind of stopped saying never to stuff because everything I have said I never want to do end up happening. So I kind of just, go where the wind blows a little bit. Um, my personal plan is not to have more salons, but I would be open to that opportunity if it made sense. But I really enjoy like helping people. Like, so I have my bachelor's in psychology. Um, Everybody in my family are educators. They work in a school. My dad's a retired principal, like both sides, mom side, dad side, everybody worked in school.
Okay.
So education, I think, is kind of like a piece of me, but non-traditionally in a sense. I don't want to, be teaching math, but
No, I can no,
but I
I ain't gonna
want
lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. If say 10, 15 years go by, and if that's where you end up teaching some goddamn algebra one, nah, man. Nah, nah, man.
you're gonna come get me out the class, like, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, fuck this. She was tripping, y'all.
Right.
She's
This was
sick.
an accident. Yeah, so I think I just want to like I start getting into like business coaching because I think, a lot of people have dope ass ideas, but they don't know how to execute it.
Yeah,
And I got here where I am in my business and my career and my personal life without having a mentor, without having, someone to, bounce ideas off of and ask questions.
yeah,
So if I was to have those things, like I would have been so much further, or maybe not further, but I would have got here quicker, perhaps. And
yeah,
so if I could be that, catalyst for somebody else to be able to, get to success quicker and to help them out and not to, they don't have to fail and struggle in the areas in which I did because I'm kind of giving them the game. Like
yeah,
that would be the goal. Like I just want to see everybody win. Like it's enough money out here in the world for everybody to win. Like people walking around here with billions of dollars
yeah,
and there's people with negative dollars. So there
yeah,
is enough for everybody to eat and eat hella good. So that's kind of like what I'm real passionate about is just helping people, whatever that means to that specific person.
yeah.
So
Nah, that's real shit. That's real shit, and that's something I always talk about on this podcast. Is that like it's enough for us to all get out there and eat. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So that was another reason why I wanted to do this podcast because I'm like I want to be able to give free game to motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of shit I'm doing, I'm learning on my own. I didn't
hmm
have no mentor. I didn't have nobody to teach me none of this shit I'm growing. That I'm learning as I grow. You know what I'm saying? Especially about, things about becoming a man and how to be successful in life and stuff like that. I didn't have that shit growing up. So it's
yeah,
like anything I can learn, I was just giving it to my little brother, but it's like, fuck that. Why not just give it to everybody? You know what I'm
yep,
saying? So it's dope as fuck to hear you say that's something you really passionate in. You know what I'm saying? That was another reason why I wanted to bring you on the podcast because we need to see people that look like us, that talk like us, that think
yep.
like us, that vibe like us, that got that mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's the people we need to gravitate to, and that's the people we need to put up, shine a light on type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I do want to tell you, I'm proud of you for starting this podcast. I am.
Oh
Because,
yeah.
like you said, you learn it as you grow. And I think I run into a lot of people who are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect, resources, tools, the perfect everything before
Yeah.
they start. But it's never going to be perfect. Like it's never going to be perfect. Like iPhone still dropping new iPhones every fucking year with something
Facts.
more perfect than the year before. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's never going to be perfect. You just got to, start and then have version 2 and version 3 and what iPhone on what 13, 14 now, and
Yeah.
nobody's looking at iPhone 2 like, oh, that shit was shitty. You're like, no, let
Right.
me get the new 15 that's coming out. Like I'm ready. And
Right.
so that's why I'm proud of you for just going ahead and starting this thing and like you said, growing as you go. So
Thank you.
I'm
No, I
happy for
appreciate that. I truly do. You talked me out of it. I was gonna wait.
you.
I
Nah.
was gonna wait. And also, I'm gonna tell you this early because I think you told me, I think your sister or somebody did something. I told you about how this dude came to me, how he wanted to teach something about doing some business with the podcast, how he's talking about the rights and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You shut that down so quick. He's like, "No, fuck that." He's like, "Don't do that shit." My sister know I do some
Oh
shit
man,
like that. Don't do that shit. And like when you
yes.
said that, I was like, "Nah, she right. Now don't do that shit." And that was like the best thing I could have done because he in some shit right now. You know what I'm saying? And like it could have turned out to have been something short term I would have thought was cool. But like long term, I would have been fucked just like he is right now. So shout out to
Yep.
you once again for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, but I do want to ask you about this. You know what I'm saying? We talk about, success. You know what I'm saying? I talk about, what I'm saying, the traveling the world, living the life that you live. I see it. Everybody that follow you on social media see it. Everybody know you personally see it. It's not that you stunning this shit. It's nothing like that. It's just it's always, that you ever seen it was an Enter the Dragon with Bruce Leroy, and the glow, like the glow.
Yeah.
It's a glow about people when they getting shit done and they move in a certain way. Like when how people say good shit happen to good people.
Right.
It's like when you see you and the shit that's coming to you, it's like, nah, she working for that shit.
Right.
It's like when a grind is evident, motherfuckers don't question the success. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with you, we all see it. I want to talk about the adversity. You know what I'm saying? Every success story starts with adversity. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say, take me back to the moments in life. It ain't even got to be about the business that you're doing right now. Just the moments in life that was adversity that hit you, and you learn from that, and that helped you become the person that you are today.
Man, where to start?
Anywhere.
So
I'm
it's
here with you.
funny because adversity is like interesting in the moment, but then when you like look back at certain adversities, you kind of realize how you kind of overhype them in the
Yeah.
moment. Like you look back and you be like, oh, that wasn't really that deep, but in the moment it was like huge.
Yeah.
So honestly, I would say the first best thing, which at the time seemed like the worst thing, is when I moved to Arizona. So I moved out to Arizona in middle school, actually, from Detroit, and it was terrible. So my mom told us, well, because the way my mom handled it, and this
Okay.
ends up playing later in the situation that I handled with my daughter that we'll talk about later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so when we moved to Arizona, my mom said we're coming to visit because she's from here. Her siblings live out here, her whole side of the family. We are
Yeah.
like, cool. We always go visit Arizona for the summer. And so then it was like 2 months later, we're still here, but it's still summer. And then she like enroll us in like Pop Warner cheerleading. And I'm like, why are we doing this? We about to leave.
Right.
Like,
That's more than a visit.
right. And she was like, well, your cousins are doing it. So we'll just do it until we leave. And we're like, okay. And then my dad was a principal at the time. And she was like, once summer school is over, your dad's going to come. Your dad's going to come. We're like, okay. So every week we're like, oh, when's dad coming? June is over. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
when dad coming? Oh, he coming at the end of July. And so then one day she writes us a letter, me and my sister, and pretty much this letter is saying like, oh, we not going back. Like we staying.
Wait. Wait. So she was still there and then said, but just wrote it on paper?
And she caught us
That's
into
wild.
her room and sat there as me and my sister read this letter
That's wild.
saying that we pretty much not going back. And I was like, obviously pissed because you lied to us. And then it's like, I didn't get to say goodbye to my friends. I
Right.
didn't even bring all of my stuff. You know what I mean? I just packed some shit for summer, some
Right.
clothes, like, you know,
Yeah.
like. And so we ended up staying in Arizona. But like later as an adult, I'm like, that was probably like a better thing than growing up in Detroit. But not that even living in Tucson, growing up in Tucson was probably much better because it was kind of raggedy there too. Um, but yeah, so she didn't handle that situation well at all, in my opinion. But
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah,
so
it could have been plenty of other, what I'm saying, ways to do that one. But
right, and so later talking to her, as an adult, I understand, why she did it. Parents they learning and growing with you. You
yeah,
just think because your mom's an adult that she know everything, or adults or grown-ups know things, but they just trying to figure it out like the rest of us, as we know now because we are adults, that we just trying to figure it
facts,
out. So
facts.
you got to give your parents grace, people, because they just trying to
You
figure it
start
out.
to forgive them. You start to forgive them about a lot of the
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah, because you look at yourself and you be like, yeah, I kind of get it. I get it a little bit.
Yeah,
So that'd be one, adversity that at the time seemed huge, but later in life, it was actually probably a good move for me. Because I did get to a lot of bullshit when I was in Tucson, but I probably would have found a whole lot more bullshit to get into
You was a gangster?
if I was still in. Huh?
You was a gangster?
Man, I got into some shit in Tucson. Like, it was just the niggas I dated. They was all they pretty much they dead or in jail now. So you do the math on that.
See, you know what? Yeah, see, that's yeah. See, no, man, no, we're not doing it. No, we're not
What?
doing it. No. Why is all them niggas dead or in jail? You know what? Just
So,
more adversity. We just throw that to more adversity. Fuck. We're just gonna
man,
throw that to
literally
more
all dead and
adversity.
in jail. Well, I'm supposed to get out in 2022 though. He been there since 2006.
He's coming. You know that, right?
He be writing me letters and shit, calling me.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming.
He did tell he was like, I'm gonna pull up to your job and be like, hey yo, where Briana at? I'm like, I'm gonna send you back to where you came from. Don't play with me.
Call the P on that nigga. He'll be
Okay,
right.
right. Absolutely. So adversity. So let's fast forward to 2018.
Yeah.
My husband was killed in a motorcycle accident.
Now, hold on. With that, let me ask you. Let me ask you about this real fast. Because when did I meet you? It was that 2019.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 2019. So it was like a year later or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I never asked. I haven't asked details and nothing about that. Because last year I just don't be thinking like, yo, man, she do my hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying. You know what I mean? Like. Because even with my barber, we don't even talk about like, yo, nigga, you seen the Laker game last night? Like, we don't go into the personals type shit.
Right.
But it's like with you, like I knew enough about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's a wild situation. You know what I mean? So I do want to ask you about that situation. I want you to when you tell me about it, tell me about the emotion behind it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when people hear news of like that, when they go through that type of adversity, they never really talk about the emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, like, I'm gonna tell you about this. Like when I first found out how my dad died, you know, there's some crazy shit like that. I was a kid, but I still remember that image. You know what I'm saying? That second, play that scene back. Mm-hmm. I remember, you know, what the fuck was going on. I remember looking out the window on the car ride home. I remember all details type shit.
Right. So how old were you?
Huh?
How old were you?
When I found out when my dad died.
Both.
Well, my dad was murdered when I was only 3. But okay. I found out, I always knew he was dead, but I found out the actual story when I was like 9. My mom told me when I was like 9.
Okay.
But I remember like it's like a damn movie scene. Everything was moving slow.
Right. It's wild, right? It's
hella wild.
It's hard. It's really weird because I wish I was like a lot better with words. You know, people who are just dope with words, whether it's written or spoken, like they can like tell you something and you can like picture yourself there. I wish I was better with words to really like convey like that moment, because it was a motorcycle accident and I went to look for him because he was just taking too long to get home, and I just had so much anxiety because I just had so much anxiety, and so I just couldn't sit in the house with it. So I'm like, I at least got to go outside and like feel like I'm doing something, you know, like I'm a go, like, I don't know. I just felt like I just couldn't sit there with it.
I gotta do something.
So I'm like, all right, let me just go down the street to the store, because my thought process was, as I was driving, I was gonna see him, you know, driving back to the house, but it would just make me feel better, you know, because I would have seen him 4 minutes before he would have made it home. Mm-hmm. And then I went to the Fry's parking lot. I didn't see his motorcycle, and I'm like, he ain't in the store grocery shopping. Like, he on a motorcycle. Like, what he buying with a backpack?
He ain't coming out with shit but some chips at least.
Right. So I'm like, okay, I didn't see him. So then I pull out the parking lot, and I was gonna turn left to go back to my house, but then I looked right and I saw police lights, and I'm like, my house is not that way, but I'm like, I gotta go see, because I can't go home without knowing. I'm like, it ain't gonna sit right with me if I never go see what it is.
Right.
So I go right, and I'm approaching like a light intersection, and then I see his motorcycle in the middle of the street. And I just like pull into the turning lane to turn left. And I just stop and I get out the car and the officers are like looking at me and I'm like, that's my husband's bike. And they're like, what's his name? And I told them and they're like, yeah, he was in an accident. And they're like, you know, we took him to the hospital. Do you want us to drive you? And I'm like, no, I'm gonna drive myself. And they're like, no, you're not.
Right.
They're
Hey,
like,
no.
we're gonna
No,
because I'm like all panicky and like trying to hold it together.
Right. They're like, no, we trying to get you there safe, man.
Right. We don't need another accident.
Right.
So they drive me to the hospital and the guy's in the car talking to me. And he's like, as you can see, the accident was pretty bad. And it's crazy because I couldn't even really like see the bike or anything. I couldn't even really tell. And maybe because it was just so much emotions happening. And then it was interesting because the officer who's taking me was saying he lives in my apartment complex and he recognized my husband's motorcycle because he said he drives bikes. So whenever he sees one, he's like really aware of them and he will always see that bike in the complex.
Yeah.
So he took me, you know, to the hospital. When I got there, they took me to a room and they were just sitting there. And the officer was kind of making small talk. You know, I called my mom and I told her and she was like, well, do you want me to come up from Tucson? I'm like, well, no. She was like, I'm coming. And then it was like 4:30. So everyone's like kind of like getting off work, trying to get there.
Yeah.
So it was like an hour or so. They sent a social worker in there to kind of just sit with me for a little while. And then his dad, who lives in Virginia, was like calling the hospital trying to get updates, but they wouldn't tell him anything. No one would tell anyone anything. And so pretty much they were trying to wait for family to get there with me before they told me that he passed away. But I think it was kind of taking too long for anyone to come. So they finally, the doctor came in. And it was interesting because as I'm sitting there waiting for everyone to come or anyone to come, I'm just like, replaying different scenarios in my head. Like, okay, well, he's going to be fine. Then, you know, you play the scenario like, okay, they're going to tell you he's dead. Like, well, then what? Like, what do you do? Like, if he's dead, like, then, you know, you're trying to be like, well, how are you going to react if they tell you he's dead? Like, you're just going like all these different things. I'm telling, I don't know how to react. Like, well, what do I do? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just really weird. You're just like having these like out of body conversations with yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So then I just remember the doctor telling me, like, you know, he came in and this and that, and pretty much like we tried everything we could, but it was nothing we could do, you know. And then I'm pretty sure he ended up telling me like he's dead, or really like specific words, so you couldn't like interpret something else. There was no confusion on, you know. And I just feel like
it wasn't finna be no doc. What do you mean, like
are you sure? So you know exactly. And so I just felt like I was in like the twilight zone at that moment. Like I felt like everything was just like moving around me. Like it was literally like in the movies, what you see, and like just this weird warpiness. And I started crying, but it wasn't for long. And I just remember soon after, his mom or his sister called me. And my reception was really bad in the room. And I was trying to tell them, but it was cutting out. And I remember the social worker saying that she'll call them on her phone or like on the hospital phone that she had.
Yeah.
And she told them. And then it was weird because then it was like nobody at the hospital, but then it was like 50 people at the hospital. Like
people that came
co-workers from the barbershop that I worked at, like his fraternity brothers, my family, his friends, my sorority sisters. Like it was just so many people at the hospital. And then they asked if I wanted to see him. And I didn't really, like, because I just didn't know what I was going to be walking into, you know?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. They told you, they asked you this after they told you he was already dead?
Yeah.
What we looking at? What we seeing?
And like, so his sister was like, I'll go. So she saw him first. And then she was like, he looks like fine. Like he doesn't look beat up. He doesn't look bloody or
Yeah.
anything. So I was like, okay, because I just didn't want that to be the last imagery I had of him, you know. But he always wears like a full face helmet, and then so he didn't have no like nothing was wrong with his face like at all. So yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, it was all like internal impact. So he looked normal, you know. I ain't moved a sheet or nothing. I wasn't gonna do that to myself.
She said he moved the sheet in there.
But yeah, so I went to see him and he looked like fine. Like he had like a couple like scrapes on his hand, but nothing where you look like you should be dead, you know, because
Right.
he only been dead for a couple hours, so he didn't look dead yet. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it was weird, but then within like minutes, the organ donor network start calling me. Like and I, like literally, I'm like, damn,
They don't give a
like
fuck.
at all,
They
at
don't give a
all,
fuck.
at all. Like they was asking me all kinds of questions, like, has he ever paid for sex? Has he had sex with a man? Like when I tell you they didn't give no fucks, they like, look, these organs we need them.
Right. They like,
Like,
look, lady. They like,
like
look.
yeah, like at one point I just handed my mom the phone. Like I'm not doing this right now.
Oh,
Like
wow.
that shit's
Wow.
wild. But check this out. I got his hospital bill in the mail. That shit was almost $100,000.
For real?
I'm like,
Bullshit.
how is
You
y'all?
gonna have to
He
find
did
me.
though. Like
You gonna
he
have to
didn't
find me.
even live. Like how much would that shit be if he lived?
Right. I'm
Like
sorry. No, I'm sorry. I know that's
no,
real
nigga, that's
shit.
real.
That's
Like
real shit.
he was probably dead by the time he showed up. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
or close to it, and y'all
Yeah.
tried to save like.
Yeah,
Y'all
nah, they trying to get
wasn't
over.
even doing work for an hour, probably.
Cause you
Like
know, cause like I said, even with the ambulance ride alone, they finna tax you for that.
right, and tell me, and so I got the bill for that, and so then they were like, "Well, if you have insurance, send us your insurance." So I sent them the insurance. When I tell you that bill came back and it was like $6 cheaper, like the insurance covered like 2 of the EpiPens that they like gave him in the ambulance.
Nah, you gonna have to find me.
Right.
Fuck
Yeah, I'm not
that.
paying that. I'm like, because that's in his name, and you can't bill a dead person. Look,
Right. That's
or
lost
you better
money.
give it to the lady that her insurance or her that ain't got nothing to do with us. Like, but yeah,
So
I'm like, damn.
so what it was it like because you said that the lady he got hit by
Hmm.
somebody.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
she was making a left hand turn and he was coming through the intersection. He had a green light coming through the intersection and she turned left. And she was probably a 4'10", 80-year-old Asian lady. Um, driving a like crossover SUV ish.
Shouldn't have been driving shit. Shouldn't have been driving a motherfucking thing. She
No,
shouldn't even keys shouldn't be in the vicinity of her. Like she
right.
shouldn't even. She should have grandchildren running errands for her type shit.
Exactly. And so she didn't see him and he ended up hitting the side of her because she turned
Mm.
and he couldn't stop in time. So he ended up hitting the side of her car. But it's not a crime, I guess, really. Not a crime punishable by jail to kill someone in a motor vehicle accident. It's like a
Shit.
misdemeanor ticket
Yeah.
of sorts. So yeah, we have to go to court, like civil court. She showed up one day to one court, then they rescheduled it because she wanted a lawyer. And then like I showed up to 2 or 3 more hearings and she never showed up. So they like gave her more time and then she was in like hospice apparently, so she couldn't show up no more.
Yeah, that
So
bitch.
right. So I still don't know if she did or not. But you know,
I mean, even if
what
she
could I
not,
do?
that's something she gotta live with. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's something you gotta live with. Cause I always say like And some of my biggest mistakes in life, there was moments before that I should have just stopped right then. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it don't matter what it don't matter what the fuck it is. It was always a moment before then where it was like, I thought about stopping. You know what I mean?
Right. And I probably
Um,
should have when I thought about it.
right. Um, so let me ask you this because I was in a car accident a few years ago.
Hmm.
I told you
Oh
about it.
yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? And the person that hit me had said he fell asleep at the wheel. But I know a base head when I see one. And when you say there's no, saying there's no like murder charge or anything like that, at least manslaughter, at least, goddamn me.
Right.
Um, I believe it because when dude hit me, all he said was, I fell asleep at the wheel and they ain't even give a fuck. Like, I couldn't even walk for 2 months. So it's like
Right.
the law about that shit is kind of wild out here.
Yeah, it is.
But I realized when I had my accident, where I had my accident, you know what I'm saying, 43rd and Southern, I have to go past that a lot. So, like, do you ever have to go past that, you know what I'm saying, that moment where the accident took place or, after that? So how was it whenever you have to go past it?
So I probably drive past it at least once a week still to this
Mm,
day. Because it happened off like Ray between Kyrene and Rule.
yeah, I
Um,
noticed that.
and so before I moved into my house, I stayed off of Ray and McClintock. And then now I stay off of Ray and Alma School. So I'm still on the same main road that it
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
So I go by it quite frequently. At the beginning, I try to avoid it. Now I don't avoid it, and I kind of don't even really think about it too much. And it's really rare that I actually get stopped on that light because it happened. It's a street called Day, so it's on Ray and Day. And I think I've only got caught at that light once. And I don't really have much of a emotional response. It's not like traumatic to me or anything like that.
yeah.
Um, I think it's more like traumatic to other people when I tell them like, "Oh yeah, that's the spot," and they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
and then when you
you
say,
know."
especially when you say it like that, nigga, goddamn. I can
um,
imagine just being there, sitting there, see, like, oh, that's the spot. Yeah, motherfucker.
so at the beginning it was, but we used to go and like put balloons and
Yeah,
stuff there for like birthday or Father's Day and things like that. But yeah, I go by there like quite often because it's literally down the street from the house.
yeah, and that's
Like
the fucked up part about Arizona. You got these fucking main roads that's everlasting type shit. So
that's very true.
anything
It's
that
very
happens on the
true.
road, you gonna go past that shit again.
Okay.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you mentioned this. You mentioned the hearings and stuff like that. I'm assuming that was damn near immediately afterwards. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't have been that much time that had elapsed since the accident. Um, and like I said, from the time I met you, the success rate, you know what I'm saying, that you're batting 100. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit is so inspiring. The shit is kind of crazy at the same damn time to see what you've done in such a short amount of time. I want to ask you, you know what I'm saying, when dealing with, so all the friends and family coming into town to help you with that process, and sometimes you gotta be a soldier for them. And then you got a little one, you know what I'm saying, you got a daughter, you gotta be a soldier for her. You know what I mean? With that process, with dealing with that, the hearings and working and stuff like that, do you ever feel like you took the proper time to heal? And when I say that, of course, there's no getting over shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you can only do better with that type of information. But it's like, do you ever think you actually just took care of you type shit? You know what I mean? If I'm asking that the right way.
Yeah. I don't think I did, to be honest, because it was, I don't know why I gave myself the responsibility or felt that I had the responsibility of making sure everybody else was okay. But I think, or I thought, whether true or false, that if I broke down, everything around me was gonna fucking collapse.
Yeah.
Like everything around me would have went to shit if I fucking broke down.
Yeah.
Um, who knows if that was true or not? Like it could have been or could not have been. Like I don't know. And so, after the immediate news, at the hospital, like I was telling you, it was so many people there. And I felt like the only time I really broke down is when like I would hug somebody and they start crying. And I think them crying made me cry. But I just felt like I just had to kind of keep it together for everybody around me. And it was weird because then I felt like everybody was also just like watching me, like, when is she gonna break down? When is she gonna, you know what I mean? So then it's just like awkward, like, am I supposed to be crying right
they
now?
was waiting. They was waiting to give you the helping hand type shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, leave me alone because people were doing too much. Like, I swear I had to like call my mom, or I had to tell my mom to tell my sorority sisters to leave me alone. Because they were like, we're gonna come to your house, we're gonna clean, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Make you breakfast every day and shit.
I don't want that. And I'm just like, Mom, can you tell them no? Like, I don't want it. Like, stop. I don't need you to clean my house. Like, my house is pretty clean. Like, it's okay. Like, and if it ain't, it's okay. Like, no.
If it is dirty, let it be dirty, bitch. Damn, leave me alone.
Okay. But people were just trying to like help wherever they thought they could, and I wasn't mad at nobody. They had good intentions, I didn't want it, but they had good intentions. But it's weird because I don't know. Like, I feel like, no, I didn't really give myself the proper time to heal, but I don't really know what that is either. So maybe I did. I don't know. Or maybe one day, like, I'm going to just lose my fucking shit in 6 months because I've been holding it all in for, 3-4 years. I don't know. And so I would kind of say no because I don't think, I ain't talked to no therapist or nothing. Like, maybe I should, but
I mean,
I don't know.
If you ask me, I would say do it just because I do it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I feel you. And I got my daughter in therapy. I just ain't done it yet.
Don't be that person. Don't be that person.
And I think the reason I'm not like anti-therapist or nothing like that, I really do think they contribute a lot. I just feel like therapy is also one of those things that you have to be ready for. You have to be open to it.
Yeah.
And, there's never a right time for anything. But I just feel like I don't want to. Like, I don't want to be sad and crying and opening up wounds to doors I closed. Like, to be real, like, that shit is heavy. Like, therapy is heavy. And you have to be ready to, like, deal with your own fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I'll say this to you. Because I tell people all the time, like, with me, it didn't become easy for me to go until I didn't have to pay for it. Right, like, I think if somebody like, when I'm saying somebody, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If somebody just got that for you, then it'll be much easier for you to go. Because that's what I did with my mom. And I also think this is important for me to say on this platform too. I think it's a lot harder for Black women to go to therapy than it is for Black men. Because a lot of Black women I know, I know what y'all dealing with. I know the shit that y'all be going through, but it's like y'all don't be wanting to like talk about that shit for like it's there. I dealt with all that shit, but it's like the residual effects that deal with that can be dealt with therapy. And the only reason why I go to therapy is just to get shit off my chest. I like to talk without being interrupted. That's all it is. Like, because once I became self-aware with the shit, I know what's wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? I know where my trauma and shit come from.
Right.
So it ain't like this nigga gonna tell me something that I don't know. It's just, I need you to shut the fuck up. Let me talk. Nod your head a few times. But when you come to a Black therapist, it's different. You know what I'm saying? You build a bond and shit like that.
Absolutely.
But I do think, you know what I'm saying? I think you're going to go eventually just because you got your daughter in there.
Right.
You can't be that hypocrite.
I know. And I think I do need to go. And so I did, make the priority her over myself. And I was also me probably like subconsciously putting it off to be like, no, let me get her set up with that first. You feel me?
50-50, it's cool. Fuck it.
But I keep saying I'm gonna do it, and my ex-boyfriend's like, you need to go to therapy, and I'm like, fuck you, no, I don't, even though I knew I did, but it's like, you ain't gonna tell me I need to go to therapy.
Yeah,
okay?
Anything you saying now don't matter. Like, anything he's saying don't matter at this point. All his advice is bad advice at this point.
Right. So I'm gonna do it, but I think I need to first talk to someone who specializes in grief, a grief therapist first,
Yeah.
and then transition to like, more broad, or maybe the grief therapist can kind of, more broad too. But um, yeah. So I don't think I probably healed completely. But like, do you heal complete? Like, is that a thing? Like, I don't know. Like, that's the
Yeah.
weird part. Like, is there really an answer to like healing and grief? And I don't know.
You know, and I'm with you because I think a lot of times people be saying like, "Oh, I'm healed." That'd be a lot of bullshit. You never get over shit
Right.
like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Like,
you
I
never get
think you
over
just
that.
move past it and you learn to live with it. I think, or shit, I don't know.
I think
I'll keep you, stay tuned.
right.
Shit, I
She'll be
don't
back.
know.
She'll be back, guys.
Right. I'll have to
um,
answer after I talk to my therapist.
but I do think so the grievous part is the grievous counselor would be the best way to go.
Yeah.
Just at least they'll know what the fuck to say. You know what I mean? Everybody can't give you the right words to use and shit like that. Um, I want to ask you about the vice. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously we in agreement. Well, I'm just gonna agree with you because you said it. You say you don't think you healed and stuff like that, but we do know the success rate. You know what I'm saying? And what you're working, do you think you overwork? Do you think that's your vice? Because I talked about it on last week's episode. I ain't gonna fake it. I may have spilled too much information, but I told the world
Hey, it's
that
okay.
I tell you all the time when you do my hair, I've dealt with women that I shouldn't deal with, and I almost come close to fucking up a lot. You know what I mean? So I went into this whole semen retention thing because my vice was fucking through the stress. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I'm going through some shit, I'm just gonna fuck through it. And I know I'm playing a risky ass game with that just because we all know what comes with that, especially by the way I was going about it. Um, so with you going through your, you know what I'm saying, your adversity and going through your hard times, do you think that your vice was overworking? Was it fair to say that? Even though it
Um,
worked out for you?
right. Absolutely. I think, I don't know how much you're into astrology, but I'm a Capricorn. So that's one of our traits is, being a hard worker and liking money. So
Yeah.
that's in my DNA by default. But I do think that was something to keep me busy. I definitely work to keep myself busy. But also I was an entrepreneur and now I have one source of income. And if I don't go to work, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a thing too. But so he passed away in 2018, March of 2018. And so I had a hot girl summer, summer 2018. That was a great, that was a
Oh
fun
my
time. But
God.
that was
That was a
I
great
think that
summer.
was it was a great summer. Um but I think that was also a part of, my healing process during that time also. Um yeah, summer 2018 was great. It was a good
Oh my
time,
God.
but I was definitely healing
Yeah, no,
and
you
trying to
smile. If you
heal.
smile any bigger, we're gonna see every damn thing.
I was trying to heal because I'm just thinking back, like it was a good time, like it was a good time. Probably too much fun, but nothing bad came out of it. So
That's good.
but to answer your question, I do overwork, and it does. Initially, it was to keep myself busy, keep myself out of trouble, but also I was the only source of income at that point, so I had to, I had to hustle.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, it's definitely some good things that came from it. You know what I mean? It's not even. I hate even saying looking at it in a bad way. You know what I mean? Because it's like, nigga, if you ain't working, you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't getting
Right.
no money, you really ain't doing shit. You ain't gonna survive out here. So it's just because I knew what was going on, and then just to see how you just kept leveling up like that. We know the hard work that go. Well, we think we know the hard work that goes into
Right.
all that shit. So it was just like, damn, did she ever even just sit back and think about that? Because everybody else that go through shit like that, it can fuck
Yeah.
them up. You know, so I
Right.
tell people all the time on this podcast, it's like life is all about decisions that you make. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got a story, everybody go through turmoil, everybody go through
Mhm.
bullshit. It's all about what you do after that. How you finna, you know what I'm saying, come from that. And it's like with
Yep.
you, it's like you lost your husband and you gotta raise your daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you gotta not only raise your daughter, you gotta still survive out here in these motherfucking trenches. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's an extra load of motherfucking me. You know what I'm saying? Trauma. I'm gonna say trauma because you don't want to. You too motherfucking me soldier. You too hard body for me. I ain't gonna fake it.
Oh, stop it. Who me? Never. No, but it's funny because I just made a post the other day, like, and it was really something along the lines like, to survive in this world, you got to turn your pain into power.
Yeah.
And that's real shit. Like, the world is a fucking terrible place and it will eat you and spit you out and do it all over again if you allow it to, you know?
Fact.
And we think, good stuff only happen to good people and bad stuff supposed to happen to bad people. Nah, good shit happens to terrible people every day and bad shit happen to great people every day.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately the world. And it's like, all right, this is the hand that you was dealt in a situation that you was dealt. Now what you gonna do with it?
Yeah. That's
You
real
gonna
shit.
level up or you gonna let it, or you gonna fold. So
Real shit.
I ain't gonna fold.
That's Detroit coming out of her, friends of the show. That ain't Tucson. That's Detroit coming out of her. I gotta put my shades back on. I feel like I look super fucking high. This shit look crazy. I feel like I look Chinese for a second.
Oh gosh, stop it.
I probably shouldn't say that on the air, but fuck it. I want you to talk to me about. I want to say this because you didn't mention, but we talked about it in pre-record, and I heard it from a past interview you did on another platform. Um, it talked about the moment you had when you told your daughter about the situation. I want to say this, and I want to move on because I don't want to. I feel weird even hanging up on that point in time because you done moved on so much in life. You know what I mean? I hate harping back on it because I hate doing it in my personal life. But
Right,
I
but it's
wanted to say
significant.
this, huh?
It's significant though.
No, it is. It is definitely a significant moment in your life that kind of changed your shit. But the moment you had with your daughter, you told your daughter what happened, what I'm saying, about her father, you know what I'm saying? And when I heard that moment, you know what I'm saying, I always credit the parents that do that because my mom did that to me when I was a kid. And it does something to you when you get that information up front. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's real with you and all right, mom, pops, they gone. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no sugarcoating the bullshit, none of that. What it does for that child, it changes the way they look at the world. And it's always I always think it's in the better because I was in that situation. It changed the way they look at the world because they start to value things more. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, I started to value the people that actually came to my life and actually showed me that they cared about me because I knew life was so short, they're gonna be gone one day. You know what I'm saying? So when I got the information about you doing with your daughter, I wanted to make sure I came on the podcast and at least gave your flowers on that, or at least just gave you props. I give you props all the time. I see you, but with that hit a little bit different because that shows the type of person you are, type of mother you are. You ain't gonna sugarcoat the bullshit. You ain't gonna shortchange on no bullshit. It just showed a lot about your character, and I wanted to make sure I brought it up on the pod.
Thank you. Yeah. So, like I was telling you when I found out we were moving, to Tucson from Detroit, like I didn't know right away.
Yeah.
And I've always had like some animosity about that because I just feel like I just didn't like that. I just didn't like how, you know, people always think kids can't handle the truth. Like kids are resilient as fuck.
Yeah.
Like probably more resilient and adaptable than adults,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I like really wanted to make it my priority when I got home that night to let my daughter know like what happened, as kid friendly as you can. But I didn't want to. So my mom wanted me to tell her the next day because it's like 11 p.m. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna just tell her tonight because she's gonna be like, "Where's Dad at?" And I ain't gonna be like, "Oh, he's somewhere else." And in the morning, I'm like, "Well, you remember when I told you he was at his friend's house?" Well,
Right.
actually, like,
Right.
I'm like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah. Get it
And
out the way.
so, yeah, and so I was just like, "Hey, you remember when Daddy, got into his accident? Well, Daddy's soul is in heaven." And I told her like that because previously, like a week before, and it's weird, like I'm not really like I'm spiritual, but I'm not really into like organized religion. But I think there is a higher power, whatever you want to call that higher
Yeah.
power. But
Yeah.
I think, it prepares kids for things because she started asking me like a week before about like heaven, and she was like, when you die, your spirit goes to heaven and it's like a party for you. And it was just so weird to me. We were just driving to school, but
Yeah.
I don't know who started talking to her in her dreams or came to her on the playground, but they was getting her prepared.
Right.
And so when I told her, his soul went to heaven, she started crying. And so then I'm like, well, do you know what that means? Like, I need you to understand. And she was like, yes, my daddy is dead. And that was her words at 5 years old. Like, yes, like
Fuck.
she understood, right? Like, that shit's heavy as hell. But I just feel like she was like prepared, like subconsciously, or, to make this conversation. I don't know if it was to make it easy for me or easy for her,
Right.
but it was an easy conversation, and I didn't really have to explain what death was and that it was permanent and that it's long lasting, and it just made the conversation really easy for me. And I just wanted to be as transparent as possible because I didn't want to look back and have her like have some resentment like I had when I just didn't get the truth up front.
Yeah. Nah, that shit. Like I said, that's just dope to me that you did that. And like I said, especially with you explaining your reasoning behind it, it just make it even doper. You know what I'm saying? Because you learn from what you went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Even if it was on a total different scale, but it's the simple fact you know what resentment can do. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that shit. That's another level. Is that
Right.
something that y'all ever talk about since? That's something that she brought up that's bothering her or anything? Like just the situation?
No, not really. Like she doesn't really bring it up much, and I kind of let her, do her thing in therapy. It's virtual.
Yeah.
So I try to like, be somewhere where I can't hear her just so she can have as much, privacy as she can
Yeah.
regarding, however she feels or anything. But we don't talk about it a lot, but we probably should. But we really don't a whole lot too much.
Nah, when she get older, that shit'll probably be something that she talk about.
Yeah,
Like I said, right now she just got to deal with a bunch of other shit right now.
exactly.
I want to ask you about the grind. You know what I'm saying of starting the business.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Well, and well, yeah, fuck, it, we won't talk about that. The grind of starting the actual business because, like you said, we talked about how when you move into your new spot, COVID hit hard. Had to find other ways to hustle. You know what I'm saying? You did your negotiating practice when A1. You know what I'm saying? Getting a few months free. But I want you to talk to me about the grind of actually starting everything, because a lot of times when they say they want to start a business, it's just because they see people living a certain lifestyle. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I want to draw that car. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. But it's like when they start their venture and they get that first bit of adversity and shit like that, they fold. You know what I'm saying? I want to ask you about any particular moment in time when you starting your businesses that you hit with a brick wall and you almost, you know what I'm saying, folded, but you had to fight through that shit.
So one thing I would say is people when they start businesses, they want to do everything and have everything immediately.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of work your way up to in order to do it smart and successfully. And so when I first started, I was literally doing hair in a barbershop. And then I was just not liking to be there. Like I didn't even want to tell the owner hello in the morning. I'm like, I can't be up in your spot not saying hi back. Like
Right.
say right. Like I was raised
Yeah.
better than that. I was like, I gotta go. I got to go.
Right.
So I went out looking for salons because I wanted something that was already a salon. And that's because I was not trying to pay for plumbing for a spot I did not own or all types of money. I was not trying to invest a whole lot of money in a building I didn't own. So I was
Yeah.
trying to find something that was already a salon that I could come into and make it my own. So I was looking for that. And I looked at a couple places and I found a couple places, but then I'm like, you know what? Let me just get a salon suite for a couple years. And then I got a salon suite that fit 3 people. Excuse me. And so then now I had 2 employees. So then I had a couple other people who wanted to work with me. So I rented the salon suite across the hall. So now I had a total of 4 employees and plus
Hmm.
myself. So then my lease came up and I was gonna renew my lease. But I don't know why I just started looking for salons again. And so I had a salon that I was gonna get. Sorry, I'm over here dying.
It's all
Um,
good.
so I had a salon that I was gonna get. So I put in my notice at my suite, and I had to put my notice in for 30 days, and then that salon fell through. So then I was stressed because I literally had to be out in 30 days. And I don't know why I'm dying now.
You smoking that weed, girl? And that's like, yeah, we saw that too. Yeah, yeah. In
I
HD.
hate you!
In
Damn it, where that
HD.
wall come from?
Snuck up on your ass.
Where that wall? I need to stop drinking. I ain't even been drinking. Whatever. Um, so I was like hella stressed though, because I
Yeah,
literally had 30 days to find a new spot. If it
yeah.
was just me, I would just went to do hair in my living room. But I'm like, I have 4 employees. Like, we can't all be doing hair in my damn living room. Like,
Right.
what am I gonna do?
Yeah,
Like, I was stressed. And so I literally was like, I was finding places online and kind of doing that, but I was just like, yo, I literally gotta put my feet to the pavement and like do some leg work.
yeah.
So I literally from Chandler to Phoenix drove down Chandler Boulevard and stopped in every plaza that said for lease.
Mm.
Stopped in every plaza that said for lease and looked through the window to see what it was. And I made a list like, look, I'm gonna call these places in the morning because like I have to make this work.
Yeah.
So then so I did that. So my plan was to do one side of the street going to Phoenix and then hit the other side on my way back home.
Hmm.
So on my way back home, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna just go home. I'm tired. So I made a left on the Alma School, and there was one more little plaza, and it was like police. I'm like, all right, let me just swing in here real quick. I looked in. I'm like, this looked like it was a hair salon. I'm like, it was dark, so I couldn't tell. And I'm like, all right, on my way to work in the morning, I'm gonna go look at it again. I'm like, yeah, this was a hair salon. So they had a big ass for lease sign. I called. The guy answered. He was like, yeah, it's available, but you need to call my wife. I don't know. She does all the numbers. I don't know. Call my wife.
Yeah.
So I called the wife, and that's the spot that I'm in now. And it's a family owned spot. Look at this. I got some water delivered to me. So I was over here
Thank you,
dying.
because man, I wanted to somehow do one for me, Go Puff delivery or something, get you something to drink.
Man, somebody heard me dying in here. Thanks, family.
Shout out to them for they the real
Um,
MVPs for that shit.
okay, right. My daughter brought it. Like, here you go, sis. Um, but yeah, and so literally, like, the husband kind of did a whole lot of work in there for free for me. So I was hella stressed, but the shit worked out. And one thing I learned is that we got to start taking the path of least resistance. We be trying to force shit all the time. And
Yeah,
it's the reason why some stuff don't work. Like, it ain't supposed to.
yeah,
Like, it is not supposed to. And you stressing and worry about some shit that ain't for you. Like a lot of stuff that we want ain't for us. So we be, trying to force it. We be trying to force a square into a circle and be mad that it ain't working.
yeah,
But I think that's one of the main things I learned with dealing with adversity is like that shit gonna come, it's gonna happen. But you're gonna be all right. Like what's for you will be for you, regardless.
mm-hmm.
And it like worked out and literally within 30 days, I was up in that salon and we was ready to work. And then, we got shut down because of COVID. But it was like cool because the plan was like, because we had to get in there so quick, it wasn't really fully done how I wanted to.
Yeah,
But we had shampoo bowls, we had chairs, we had mirrors, we
yeah,
had the basic requirements to do some hair, but it
yeah,
just wasn't very pretty at the time. But being closed allowed us that time to kind of get it really up aesthetically how I wanted to. So I feel like everything literally has worked out. And not because I'm luckier than other people. It's just I feel like when you stress and you put, bad energy out there into the environment, that shit will be reflected back on you. So I try and like not to stress about shit. And that's obviously easier said than done, but
Mm-hmm.
I really think the universe and energy is all that shit is like real. Like that shit
Oh
is
yeah,
real.
that shit
That
really
shit's real as
fuck.
fuck.
That shit
And
really
so
fuck.
like you gotta think positive shit because the more positive shit will happen. Like just try it. Like you ain't got shit to lose, but just to try it. And so I think that's how I deal
See,
with adversity is just not letting it like take over me.
yeah. See, I'm glad you saying that because I be trying to see you use your good energy way different than I use my good energy.
What the hell? How
Like I
do you
use
use
my
your good
shit. Like I be
energy?
showing love to all the bad bitches. I be like trying to just
Yeah.
put that good energy out there so it can reflect back upon me. Like, that's what I use my karma for. You
Okay.
use your
Okay.
karma for business ventures. See, that's why I'm learning.
Yes.
See, that's why I said you're
Yes.
inspiration.
Channel that positivity over there. You
That's what I
know.
need to do. That's why I'm on semen retention. See, I told you I be fucking up. Like I
That's
be
okay. We
wilding
all
out.
just, we learning as we go. We learning as we go.
That's the best we can do. That's the best we can do. But it is some real shit like you said. You know what I mean? You just gotta keep going. So the energy you put out there is the energy you're gonna get back. And that's one thing about you. It's always been positive energy. You know what I mean? No matter what it's been, no matter what day it is, it's positive shit coming from you. Even though I always know about the little shit that's going on when you do tell me about it, it's still positive energy that you reflect outwards. And that's why it's never in a shock or a surprise to anybody that the shit that you got going on for yourself because it's like, nah, she's putting in the work, she's putting out the energy for that shit. It's no shock to that's why it's coming back on her like that. I tell motherfuckers
Right.
all the time, there's never a shock when you see somebody living a certain way. Like niggas you grew up with that skipped class and that was fucked up in school, when you grown now, them niggas in and out of jail, it's not a surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You seen
Makes
it
sense.
coming. And it's the worst the same way the other way. When you know the chick that's just always had a good head on her shoulders, always just focused, always
Hmm.
was different from other motherfuckers. When you get older, you start seeing her move a certain way. It's never a surprise. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I definitely understand what you're saying about that. We talked a lot about, you know what I'm saying, the stuff you have to deal with, you know what I'm saying, and you know, saying growing up in life. I wanted to ask you, you know what I'm saying, looking back, you know what I'm saying, on your life, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, the images you had growing up of, you know, so your mom, your dad, you know, family, love, all that good shit. What do you credit, you know what I'm saying, for your views on success, your views on life, and your views on happiness?
Um. Oh man, that's deep. So I came from a good family. Like, we ain't had nobody in jail. I didn't have no like uncles on drugs or nothing like that. Like I came from a very good family, both sides, my dad's side, my mom's side. Um my parents they did get divorced and I learned when I was in high school that my dad had a baby in between me and my sister. And they were married at the time, hence why my mom left Detroit and came to Tucson, which I
Yeah,
learned later.
she's fed up.
Um, and I get it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. Like I ain't mad at you, sis. Like she was pissed because she left him with the house, the car. She didn't give a shit. Like you can have it all. I don't want none of it.
Fuck
I'm
it,
like,
I'm out.
hella. Um, but it's interesting because I have uncles and aunts who've been married like over 50 years,
Hmm.
which is like still married to this day. Everything. And I kind of like look back on their like relationship. And granted, you don't never know all of anybody's anything. But I remember one point my uncle, he was like on some medication and it made him mean as shit. Like he was just so mean. And like looking back on that, because I was a child at the time, I'm like, damn, my aunt really was like, like she stuck with him because they still married. But I'm like, this nigga was mean. Like
She's
he
putting
was
up with some shit.
mean. Right. She had to live with him, like sleep with him at night, you know? And but it's like really interesting because like they do really seem happy. I don't know if they are or not, but it's kind of like twofold when it comes to like relationships of like our parents and grandparents because like they're you got to stay married, but it's like, but are you happy? Like are you
Right.
supposed to just stay married and be miserable.
Right.
But then you have our generation who's like quick to leave. So it's like, well, which one is the right way to go about it? So it's really interesting. And that's one thing, we were talking about me needing therapy is I'm quick to like be done with somebody. Like probably a little too quick. I'd be like, oh nah, I'm cool.
John fucking Wick, nigga, I tell you all the time, like.
I'd be ready to be out. Like, nope. No,
Yeah.
sorry. I don't have to deal with this. Absolutely not.
Yeah, like
But
fuck
I
that.
think I got to that point because I dealt with a whole lot of fucking shit. Like growing up with like other guys I dated. That now I'm just like, no.
Well, I don't think. Do you think it's much easier for you now after dealing with what you deal with to just like, nah, fuck that nigga. I ain't dealing with that shit.
Yeah. And that's, I think, why I need therapy. Because, like that's one thing I talked to my boyfriend about where, why I probably need therapy is I'm just like, no, I don't want to break up with you, or I would be sad if we broke up, but I'm gonna be cool. Like my husband died. Me breaking up with you ain't shit.
Right.
And that's really like sad. Like that's kind of like that's like really fucked up to hear and to say. And it's not that I don't like care at all. It's just like I don't think like anything is really gonna be worse than that. Like,
Nah, ain't shit worse than death. Nah. Ain't nothing worse than death. I mean, a nigga can go to jail for a little period of time and still wouldn't be worse than that. Like,
yeah, and so it's like, and that's probably where I do need to go, to a therapist to kind of like soften my heart maybe. Because I just feel like my husband died. Like I just feel like me breaking up with somebody, like I'm gonna be sad today and probably tomorrow, but I'm gonna be cool.
yeah.
And it's just like not because I don't love you or nothing, but I just know like I've been through some worse shit.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I
I
don't.
mean, it's just real shit. Like, I think it's just that's why I think it's important for people to understand that once you go through certain shit in life, it takes more dramatic shit, to really make you super
Right.
emotional. You know what I mean? Because even I'm the same way. So I done been through so much shit in life to where it's like, all right, my nigga, like I will move on. I will be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I
Right.
totally understand what you're
And I
saying.
feel like it's sad to tell someone, because I feel like if someone told me that, like, yeah, if you were to leave, like, I'd be sad, but like, I'd be cool. Like, damn, like,
Nah, it
you gonna
hurt.
be depressed? Like,
That hurt.
oh, you supposed to be miserable for life, bitch. Like,
Right, yeah. You can't be happy
what?
after I leave you. Fuck you talking
Right,
about.
ever. Like, you can never smile again.
Mm-mm. I be disliking. I be under my old work comments like, "You happy with this nigga? Like, this who you happy with?" Like,
Right.
bitch, I'm the reason you
Right.
smiling. I'll let you go be happy.
Right. You welcome.
Right,
Tell him to come thank me.
right, nigga. Cash at me, nigga.
Okay.
Uh,
Right. Throw the cash app back up there. Throw the cash app back up there
you
for
know
me.
what? For the haters,
Right. There you go. Throw that shit back up
you
there.
stupid.
But yeah, so I just feel like, I gotta soften my heart a little bit. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I just feel like after going through that, it's certain things that just won't phase me long term.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or if that's just it is what it is type of things. Right?
I think it's one of those it is what it is type of things because nothing super bad has come from it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times when people don't get over shit, it's like obvious type shit. It's like niggas inspired into drinking. Niggas like
Right.
they start aging 10 years. Like shit look bad. Like nah. Like with you, it's like it's good, and it's kind of the same thing with me. That's why I wanted to make sure I bring you in because I think the only thing that's most important is not about you going to see a therapist or nothing like that. I just say it to people because that's what I do. You know
Right.
what I mean? I know what it does for me. I know it could help a lot of motherfuckers. And I know a lot of people that look like me, that think like me, talk like me, we hesitant to even do that shit. Because a lot of times we're like, niggas don't want to hear what the fuck I'm complaining about. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody got a story, but Just
Right.
pop your shit without being interrupted. It always works in my mindset. But I do think, you know what I'm saying, with you good. Like, it didn't impact you in a negative way. You just have to be aware of where the trauma comes from. As
Right.
long as you know that, you straight. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of motherfuckers don't know where they shit come from or why they
Right.
do the things that they do. And that's the only thing I be trying to tell motherfuckers. Like, I know why I'm an asshole. I know why I don't trust motherfuckers. I know why I don't communicate
Right.
with motherfuckers the way I do. Is because, nigga, I'm still working on loving myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Type shit. And until I can love myself, I can't really love other motherfucking people. So that
Mm-hmm.
does lead me into my next question with you. How often do you tell yourself that you love yourself? Because I think we all love ourselves, but it's like we always give time to love other people. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's like in this busy world of Brie, you know, we're going through the busy world of Brie. You know what I'm saying? The running the shop, working, the other business ventures, the traveling, your boyfriend, your daughter, all that shit. Plus some. I left shit off because I've been smoking and drinking, so I left a lot of shit off. But in all this shit going on in your world, in your life, how often do you actually tell yourself that you love yourself? And are you still learning to do that?
So I don't think I've ever told myself that I love myself.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Okay, go ahead.
I don't think I have. I guess I should, but I don't think I'm about to like tomorrow because we had this conversation. Like that's kind of weird. Um, but I think I'm like, definitely learning to love myself. And I think it's funny, we were talking about this at the salon because one of the girls, we're all about like in our 30s, and one of the girls gonna be 32, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be 32," and I'm like, "Yo, I was hyped to be 30, like." I was hyped to be 30. And they're like, why? And I'm like, because I really think I get like better every year. Like I get cuter every year. I feel like my style get a little better every year. Don't be
Niggas, boy, I
shaking your
tell you.
head at me. Don't do
Niggas,
that.
boy.
Don't do that. Don't be shaking your head at me. But I think I get a little better every year. And so I'm like, look, 32. Oh yeah, we on the way. Sis is coming through.
Right.
But I think a lot of our self-worth comes from external, obviously. And so, and I would say as a woman, a lot of our self-worth comes from men. And so, if you dated men who treated you like shit, you kind of feel shitty.
Right.
And I feel like I dated some terrible, it's hard for me to even call them terrible because I don't think they're terrible people at all.
Niggas is dead in jail. Niggas was terrible, I'm gonna be honest with you.
And that was my problem. I just feel like, well, you have so much potential. You could be great. Let me make you
That's
great.
who you was. That's who you
Oh
was.
yeah, I'm a fixer. I'm a helper. I'm a all of that. I'm a all of that. I was
Yeah.
all of that. But and so I think, as you get older, you kind of know a little more of like what you deserve or what you're not gonna deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you start seeking partners who are not dead and in jail.
Yeah. Right.
Better humans.
Right.
And so I think a lot of that, I think a lot of women get that from men. And my mom was not a very affectionate person. Like I don't really remember us hugging at all, or her telling me, "Oh, you're pretty, you're beautiful." Like I
Mm-hmm.
don't think she was a bad mom at all,
Yeah.
but we never got those. I never remember any of those things from her. And so now I'm kind of that way, which I hate
Yeah.
because I'm not a very like expressive person. I'm not very physical, like real, comforting, and I wish I was, and I have to like try to be that way, especially with my daughter,
Yeah.
because I think that's really important. But to answer your question, yeah, I don't think I've ever told myself like I love you. I
Yeah.
don't say affirmations in the mirror.
I don't either. And I mean, it is weird when you say like, "Yo, I love me" type shit, but it's just like
Yeah.
only reason why I ask people that is because it took me a while to realize that, like, yeah, I don't even know if I love myself type shit. And I ain't at home trying to kill myself type shit. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like
yeah.
when dealing with other people, I always feel like I'm not the best. I'm not the best son, the best friend, the best grandson, shit like that. So it's like I always feel like I spend so much time trying to make sure I love other people, but it's clearly not working. You know what I mean? Like it's clearly they clearly don't see it. So it's like that because I don't even know what I would want in return for somebody showing me that they love me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what makes me happy type shit. So how can
Do you know your love language?
I like candles?
Oh, we did talk about that, huh?
That's it. I like candles. You buy me candles, I'm open. I'm ready to go. But
So
like,
does that mean like your love language is like receiving gifts?
no, not necessarily gifts. It's just, it's like, well, okay, I'm gonna put myself on blast. I've only been in one real relationship as I've been an adult. You know what I'm saying? And that was short lived, as you know. Don't say shit smart. You know what I mean?
I don't
But
have anything negative to say.
but it was short lived. So it's like I just like for a motherfucker to be my comfort. You know what I mean? Like that's basically my love language. If you my comfort and you let me just be myself, and that's shallow as fuck. That lets you know how bad it is over here. But it's like that. If you can just be somebody that lets me know that I can be myself with you at all times, and you buy me candles, we're good.
Okay. Well,
We're
look,
good.
there you go, ladies. Candles. Okay. Bath and Body Works has a sale. Buy two, get two free right now.
Mm-hmm. You
Get your boy
stupid.
some candles. Okay.
You stupid.
Drop the mailing address. No, I'm kidding.
Hit the DMs me. I know how it goes.
You're right.
But
And yeah,
that's
I just
just it.
feel like it's weird because one of my friends, he's one of my good friends, he was like, have you ever just like sat back and just thought about like everything that you've done? Like, have you just like looked at your salon and was just like, and started crying? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I have not. And I think it's because I think the shit that I'm not doing anything that nobody else can do. Like, it's not like I'm walking on the fucking moon. Like, it's impossible. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm not doing anything that is impossible. I'm not doing anything that somebody hasn't done before and that
Mhm.
somebody can't do. And so that's why I just feel like I tell you, like real fucking regular as fuck. Like it ain't no world secrets to the shit that I'm doing, like
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And that's why I just feel like I'm just living life. Like I'm not doing nothing like that spectacular. I don't think. And so when people like you or other people like, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh, you're making me really awkward and uncomfortable. Like, please stop.
So
Um,
do you think you live in the moment? Because that's my problem. Like people have to tell me all the things that I do all the time. And it's like I don't look the same way you say you don't look at your shit that you're doing as super big is because
right.
for me, I don't live in the moment. It's like I do this shit and I'm on to the next. You know what I mean? It's like that's over with. That's light work now. It's on to the next move. So do you think you don't live in the moment for that?
I don't. And I be trying to like practice gratitude because that's one of those things of like manifestation and all of that. Like you should
Yeah.
practice gratitude and being grateful. Yeah, I don't do that either. Like I that's on my to-do list. It's on my to-do list. And like my friend, like she's super spiritual in tune with the fucking world. And she was like, yeah, every day I wake up, she's like, I put my hand on the heart and say, let me experience something beautiful today. And I'm like,
Mm-mm.
great. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, man,
She
like
sent Grand Rising text, don't she?
she does not. And I hate that shit. Do
Oh, I
not
do
grand
too.
rising, great rising
Yeah.
me. Like, that's a red
Yeah.
flag. Like,
I'm too grumpy in the morning for that bullshit. It's like because it feel like you challenging me to do something extra in response. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel like that's some like I just feel like you try to be something you're not. Like, shut up. Okay,
Yeah,
shut
because
up.
that's not
Don't
natural.
grand rise.
Yeah.
No, like
Unless you a
stop.
bean pie selling nigga, that shit ain't normal. That shit
No,
ain't
like that
natural
shit
at
pisses
all.
me off. Like I get mad. Like if any nigga ever grand rises me, like
So
don't do
that's a
that.
red flag for you.
Yes, like I'm mad thinking about it. Like, do not do that. Stop it. All
So
men
there
out
you
there
go.
listening, stop grand rising and females. Like, we
Yeah.
don't like it. Shit, I
It, it,
don't.
it
We'll
don't it
be
don't get nobody far with that, the Grand Rising.
no, I'm not here for it.
Where did that come
Not
from? I
here.
feel like that's like some recent shit. That wasn't some shit that was always around.
So apparently, like, good morning stemmed from mourning, like grief mourning.
Yeah.
MOURNING. So it's like, well, we're not trying to mourn the day. We're trying to like bring positivity to the day. So
Extra ass, bitch
grand
ass,
rising, because you're getting up and rising. I don't know. But I don't
bitch
like it.
ass.
I'm not here for it. Just say, hey,
Nah,
what up? If anything, if you don't want to say good mornings. Oh,
yeah,
look, that leads into red flags. You ignoring my
exactly.
text. Look at that.
That
Look
leads
at
me into the
that.
next one. You know, I'm trying to work on my transition skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying,
That was
y'all.
great. That was great.
Um, like you said, next topic: the red flags you ignore while dating someone. Like for me personally, I got caught in the sauce. The biggest red flash for me was for like chicks I was talking to once started OnlyFans, and I just ignored it. I was like, she lying. She ain't no shit. But then,
You never told me that.
oh yeah, she wanted
Damn,
to
I'm
pop it.
mad you never told me that.
Yeah, she wanted to do the OnlyFans joint.
So did she
But
do it though?
huh?
Did
You
she
said,
do it?
I didn't find it. I didn't find it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Type shit. After how things ended, I wouldn't be surprised. She had
Okay.
some tricks. She had some
Ooh,
tricks.
okay.
But also, like the whole, it's childish. It is childish. But like the whole body count thing, not knowing the vicinity of it. Like, bitch, if you don't even know the range, like you gotta, what's up? Like, damn, bitch, you popping it like that? But there's other red flags. So it's like with you, what are red flags you ignore when you was dating somebody that it came back at the end when you was like, motherfucker, you bitch, motherfucker, you. I should have known.
Sheesh. I feel like, man, because it's interesting because I feel like most of my red flags were like pre-adulthood
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, because I feel like into adulthood, I was probably throwing out the red flags, to be honest. um,
You was a red flagger.
I was. They wasn't caught though. But it's funny because I'm a serial monogamist. Like I am a serial monogamist. For sure, for sure. Serial monogamist.
That's her thing, guys.
Don't be saying yeah and
That's her.
agreeing with me. Wait a goddamn minute.
I gotta agree with the guest. What I'm gonna do? Say no.
Do you have to agree with the guest?
Nah, I chose to.
Okay, right, exactly. But no, I am a serial monogamist. But like I said, everyone I dated before dead or in jail. And I'm not lying, like literally dead or in jail.
I gotta beat that out. Like we can, I think it'd be. I think that'd be much more fun. I gotta find a way to beat that out every time you say it. I think it'd be much fun.
But it's that because it's true. And it's because okay, red flags. Nigga who gang bang. Like that's like
Yeah,
stop it. Like
he's gonna die
that's
soon.
a red flag. Dead or in jail, right? Red flag. All of them. Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then Tucson. Like how you gang banging in Tucson? Like
I don't get the so-called gangsters out here. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not that tough out here for y'all to be acting like this shit is the trenches. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah. And so then in high school, this dude that I dated, he was in high school with a baby. That should have been a red flag.
3 of them.
That should have been a red flag. But we're not gonna talk bad about the dead, okay? So moving on.
Yeah. You know what? Mention that another red flag. I never thought about it until you just said that. I was talking to a woman. This was just recently, so she heard it.
How
She
many
might get
kids and how
mad.
many baby daddies?
She only had one. No, she only had one.
Oh,
But
I meant
because the dude that I knew, her husband wasn't the father of the child. But the red flag I ignored was she didn't have custody of her kid. And I think that's like, yeah, I mean, like shit
yeah,
happens, but like for the most part, if a woman don't got custody of her child, She only got weekend visits. No, bitch, you was tripping.
Yeah, that's definitely a red flag because it's really,
Pussy was good,
I
but I
don't
ain't
want
gonna
to say
say.
rare because I feel like I'm running into it more often nowadays where men have sole custody.
Yeah,
And I find that interesting because I feel
yeah,
like most states, most courts would give the woman that.
yeah,
So if that's not the case, then that's definitely a red flag.
yeah.
Absolutely. I feel like, oh man, what other red flags? I don't, I just feel like I don't got a lot in my adult life, to be honest.
Okay.
Why are you rolling your eyes?
No, no, because I was about to say something.
Go
I was
ahead,
about to
speak
add
your
something to the
truth.
topic. Huh?
Oh, you said you adding something,
I was about to,
but
but
why not? What was it?
nothing. It was nothing. It was about red flags and shit like that. It was just about red flags when people like because you say you were serial monogamous, right?
Mm-hmm. That could be a red flag to some people.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I've never even looked at that a certain way. It's just, because if you get with somebody and that's just the end all be all, then what are we really talking about? You know what I mean?
Right.
um, I've never see. Like I said, I've only been in one real relationship, and how real you want to say that was, that shit is definitely up for debate. But it's like I don't feel like I have to get into a relationship. Like I choose. Like to me, you gotta pass like a checklist. I ain't gonna fake it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, do you have a checklist? Do you have something that you keep you know what I mean go by? Because for the people that it don't work out for, that it didn't work out with, there had to be something that shine light on that early on. You know what I mean?
It's weird because so prior to the guy I'm dating now, everybody else that I dated, I knew in some capacity, whether we had mutual friends, we went to school together, something like that.
Yeah.
So the guy I'm with now is the first person that I've dated that I had no mutual friends. Like I didn't know him from nowhere, which was very like scary for me.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, you could be anybody. Like, who knows? Like, I can't vet you. I can't really check you. I can't ask the homie about like. So
Right.
that was really, really extremely like interesting. But everybody else, like, I knew before. So it's kind of like I knew who you were. I knew your character or anything like that for the most part. You know, like granted, when you get in a relationship,
Your shit
shit's
changes.
way different. Like
Yeah.
super. Um, yeah, so I don't really know. I just like being like I just like I don't want to say I like to be in a relationship, but like I feel like I had, you had only one, serious relationship as you like to call it, and I can't count how many boyfriends I've had.
But
Man,
another thing is, I have multiple women, and it sounds horrible. Jesus
that
fucking
did
Christ.
sound bad. Keep going. Carry on. I'm here for it.
I have multiple women that I've had long lasting relationships with. We weren't
Hmm.
together,
Right.
but motherfuckers grown. You know what I'm saying? You've been fucking with somebody for years. You might as
Right.
well say it is what it is. You ain't gonna deny a motherfucker if they say some shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? But so I feel you to a certain point because I do feel the need to just have somebody there. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel you to that certain point. I just always want to know because that is something that, well, not about you being with serial monogamous, but since you brought it up,
Right.
I just always want to know, like, do people ever have a checklist? Because that's why I don't get in relationships because I have a checklist. You know what I mean? And it's very small. It just never met.
I feel like to a degree, but I think it changes as I date other people.
Hmm.
So, for example, like my boyfriend now, like he opens the door for me, like to get in the car in the garage. Like not just because we leave in a fancy restaurant. He
Yeah.
like bring me flowers once a week. So now it's like, oh, like if we weren't to work out, like, oh, now I have extra checklist items to add to the list because I,
Yeah.
leveled me up a little bit. But before it wasn't like a big deal that you didn't always open my door. Like if you did occasionally, like cool, like I'm not hella bent if we going into the garage and you didn't open my door. Like he'd be like yelling at me. He'd be like, why are you touching the door? And I'm like, oh my bad, like I went to sit down, like you was taking a minute. Like,
nigga, my legs was tired, nigga.
Right, like shit, my man, like damn.
But that's dope. He introduced you to some new shit.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's dope.
Right. So I feel like the checklist be adding up, or in the on the opposite, if he just didn't do something consistently or did something that I didn't like, I'm like, yeah, let me make sure to add that to the checklist so I can vet these next motherfuckers to see, like, to make sure, like, all right, please don't do that, or make sure your ass do that. You know what I mean? So I feel like it kind of changes, because sometimes you don't even know the shit you want until somebody give it to you. You're like, oh damn, this is what I've been missing out on. This could be what you've been getting. What the fuck? Like, wait a goddamn minute. Like, hold up.
I'm wasting my time with this bullshit.
Okay, I've been living like a peasant all these years. Like, what the fuck? So I feel like it kind of changes as you like grow and learn what you want, because who I wanted or what I wanted at 20 is different than who and what I want at 30. Like it changes. So the checklist changes and evolves with that also. It should, at least, your checklist shouldn't be the same.
Nah, my shit different now. I went through a good 10-year stretch. I just want some ratchet bitches. That changed. That changed fast.
Now you want candles.
Yeah, I want candles, bitch. Buy me candles. No more food. Just buy me candles. You need to smell good. But that brings me to some what are the qualities you value in a dude now in 2021? Since you done been through all this shit, you happy now? He put you on the new shit. I'm happy that you're happy now. I ain't gonna fake it. Well, I'm very happy that you're happy now. The last situation, I knew that shit was kind of like.
Oh man, I've been waiting for you to say some shit.
I knew that wasn't gonna go through.
He's a great person, okay? He was a great guy.
He seemed cool. I mean, but when shit don't mix, you know what I mean? And you know
why did everybody see it but me?
I mean, that's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes. I didn't know. You're right. I didn't know a lot of people I was doing wasn't shit until it showed themselves. But I think a lot of it was because I had somebody else in my ear saying, "Oh boy, wasn't gonna be a good fit." You know the other person. So it was like I was like the yes man type. I
did not know that until after the fact.
Yeah, you said that shit in my ear. And the niggas know how when niggas see other niggas moving a certain way, you put two and two together fast as fuck.
That really blew my mind when you told me that. I'm like, really?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
But nonetheless. So what was the question again?
I don't know. But I'm just happy I'm happy you happy.
Thank you.
Oh no. What are the qualities that you value now in a man? Like you said, now you got somebody that's putting you on a new shit. But what are the qualities that you value now?
So I really feel like it's really important for me to have someone that's like business minded, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Because, like, for example, I'm here almost at 10 o'clock. We've been on here for 2 hours. I'm talking to a man on the computer that he don't even know who it is or what we're talking about, and he ain't pressed.
Yeah, he gonna cuss me. I was waiting on him to come on camera and say, "All right, nigga, wrap this shit the fuck up, B."
I need my girl.
Right.
Yeah, but he ain't.
I'm gonna get her out of here for you soon, bro.
He ain't sending me text my phone and ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Like, you done yet? He ain't pressed. Because he understands. He's also an entrepreneur, which I really
shout this
like.
Shit out. Get this shit some plus. Shout this shit out.
So he does like short-term rentals, Airbnb. So if y'all interested in Airbnb short-term rentals,
y'all niggas be traveling. Y'all niggas interested. Y'all niggas be traveling. Right. She being modest. Y'all niggas need a place to stay.
You're right. Shit. Or you trying to learn the game to get into it. Like, look, all of that. And so he's a full-time entrepreneur. So he understands me being on Instagram and creating content and doing business and consultations, and so he gets that. Yeah. Because my previous relationship, he didn't. like, you're always on your phone. Why are you always on your phone? It's like, because I have a business and
All right,
10
man.
other businesses, and I'm about to be a millionaire by 2023.
Talk that
Okay,
shit.
so that's
No, well,
why
say that
I'm
one
on
more
my
time
fucking
for the
phone.
bitch ass niggas in the back, please.
I'm gonna be a millionaire by 2023. So
Mm.
don't believe me, just watch.
Oh, come on, man. You ain't have to say Trinidad James part. Jesus Christ. No, I'm just fucking with you. But
But
nah,
yeah,
speak that shit into existence. I believe it.
I'm keep talking it because it's happening. Like,
I
and it's
believe
funny because I was like looking into it, like, yo, it's about to be 2022. Whew, like no pressure. Fuck.
it.
And then I'm
Pressure like
like,
a
shit,
motherfucker.
man, because I'm like, I gotta make $83,000 a month to be a millionaire. Like, shit, let me start crunching some math and doing some numbers. Like, yo,
Hey, with all the hustles you got, you gonna get to it.
man, it's happening. Like, it's kind of intimidating as fuck, but it's kind of fun and exciting to be like, yo, nigga, like, I did that. Like, I
But
think hopefully at that point I would be like proud and sit back and be like, yes. But knowing me,
you
I'll be like,
not.
nope,
Knowing you,
on
you
the
not.
million.
You gonna get that first million, and you gonna be like, nah, fuck that. I want. Give me 5 now. You gonna like give me
Right.
10. You just gonna keep going. But do you hear the shit
Yeah.
that you talking about? The shit that you thinking about doing? How many motherfuckers you know sitting around talking, yeah, nigga, in 2 years, I'm gonna have a milli. Niggas ain't talking about that. Niggas ain't even thinking about that. That's why it's important for them to hear this conversation. To be like, no, hold on, man. The shit she talking about, or she think like me. She talking like
Right.
me. She look like me. She talking about touching a milli.
A
What the fuck?
million.
That
Look,
changes
we
other
out of
motherfucking
six figures.
mindset.
We had the seven figures. Come on.
Come
We
on,
had the
man.
seven. Seven
Her
of them
name ain't
things.
BriBucks for no reason, man.
Right? Come on, let them know. Let them
um,
know.
um, I think yeah, that's all I got on the motherfucking docket, man. I don't want to hold you up all night. I do know you're a busy woman. I do want to get you to some quick hitters before we wrap this podcast up. Before we do that, is there anything else, you know what I'm saying, that you want to tell the people? You know what I'm saying? Tell them about what you got going on, anything we didn't touch on, anything you feel is important you should say to the people. It's
Y'all
people
add
all
me.
around the world that's tapped into
Add
this.
me on Instagram, y'all. BriBucks. You know, y'all see it. Add me. I be stealing gems. You know, I be just trying. I want y'all to win, like for sure, for sure. I want y'all to win. There's money out there to be made, and I want to help you. So, look, business coaching. If you're trying to get your business credit, your personal credit together, let me know. I can help you with that. Credit is king, y'all. Stop hustling backwards. Like, look, Black people, we have been taught wrong information because they want to
Yeah,
hold us back.
yeah.
Okay, you know, your mama and your grandma told you credit was a devil, buy everything in cash. Fuck that shit. Run
Yeah.
that shit on somebody else's money and flip that shit. Y'all know
Mm-hmm.
how to flip some shit, okay? So
Niggas
look,
flip everything else but the right shit.
thank you. Thank you. So look, so let's get your credit together. Let's get you some business credit. Look, I got over $100,000 in business credit. Other people's money that I'm about to use. I bought a fucking Jeep for Turo that's making me
Mhm.
money right now. He just literally dropped off my Jeep 2 hours ago, and I'm over here talking
Mm.
to talking to Mr. OG Hatch while my Jeep out
Man,
there was making me money. Okay,
she making
so
money,
look,
y'all. Listen to
so
the
look.
free game.
All right. So connect with me and I'm gonna give you the game. Let's talk about it. You know, I ain't
No,
gonna hype myself. I'm just regular.
man. No, look, I'm gonna tell you something right now. We over an hour and a half on her. They know you not regular by now.
What?
They know you
What?
not regular by now.
Damn.
They look, all the people that's tapped in, they all think like me. They all act like me. So they know when I'm talking to somebody, they know I didn't just bring a regular motherfucker on here. You know what I'm saying? They know I brought somebody that I really think highly of. You know what I mean? Just because everything you done been through, everything that you're accomplishing, there's not an end goal in sight. I mean, it's not. There's no stopping what you got going on. You know what I mean? Like I said, the shit that you done been through, a lot of people don't make it out of that. You know what I'm saying? And I gravitate towards people that everybody said that good hell and show shit. That's bullshit. Cause we all go through shit that we ain't
Yep.
proud of. But you are somebody that you inspire me. You know what I'm saying? You only a few years older than me, and you inspire me. You really fucking do because
Thank
other people
you.
that inspires like my aunties and uncles and shit like that. Like they supposed to inspire me. I seen them do some bullshit. But with you, I seen the grind, I seen the growth, I seen where you taking this shit, and I seen you got a plan and you really sticking to that shit. So you're a busy woman, like you said. You got money, you got shit making you money while you sitting back talking to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to say
Let's
to you,
go.
oh yeah, fuck yeah. I'm tired of having to clock in to get some money. Fuck the bullshit.
Right.
That's some bullshit. But I do want to say once again, you know, just thank you. It's an honor to have you on here. I know it may not seem like shit to you because you talking to me, but it's like it's truly an honor because this was always in the plans. It was always a plan to get you on this podcast because I always felt like you got a story that a lot of motherfuckers really need to hear. And I wanted you. Well, first of all, I didn't sit at the beginning of the podcast, and I feel stupid. You're the first woman on the podcast.
What?
Yeah, you're the first woman on the
Oh,
podcast.
shit.
So that's the
Hey.
benchmark. I wanted you to be the first in studio interview, but that shit would took a little too long. You too dope to
Well,
have you baby.
I can still be the first in studio one. I'm just
Oh,
saying
yeah.
we can, you know.
You already know where it's gonna be.
What? Okay, let's run it.
You already know where it's
drop the
gonna be.
address. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck it. I can control shit now. I'm gonna drop the address.
Right. Hey,
You just showed me the back room and everything. That's where it's gonna be.
Hey.
But you inspire me. You truly motherfucking do, man. Let's do these quick hitters so I can get you off and go run to your man and y'all can sit back and count that money y'all just made. Quick hitters. Let's get into it. You seen The Matrix, right?
Sorry, say that again. My headphone at least will cut out.
You seen The Matrix?
There. Yes.
Red pill or blue pill? Which one are you taking?
Oh shit. Blue pill.
Okay. I'm a blue pill ass nigga too. Just keep me where the fuck I'm at. Truck, sports cars, or Jeeps? Which one you riding with?
Jeeps all day.
I'm a Jeep nigga myself. I got a Grand Cherokee, but I wasn't a Jeep nigga till I moved out here. I don't know what that was.
Have you seen my Jeep?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
That's my Turo. I got a Jeep Wrangler. Okay, look, we're about to just pull up the photo real fast to show y'all people. Okay.
All on different levels.
And
man.
not that I'm trying to like, you know, talk that shit, because you know, I don't brag.
No, talk that shit. Hey, when you say it with your chest, like talk that shit. we ain't humble, talk that shit.
Let me show you my $80,000 Jeep Wrangler. With orange interior. Let me show you.
That's my favorite color, even though I'm colorblind.
Can y'all see that?
Oh yeah, that's hard. We can see it. No, that's hard.
Let me show you the interior. Just even though you got your glasses on.
I can see that shit. That shit clean.
Yeah, so that's what I got on Turo right now. So man. I'm a Jeep girl.
And she wonder why I say she an inspiration.
Because it's a $12,000 car. I'm sorry, I'm not paying that shit. So I'm gonna have somebody else, other people's money, pay for that Jeep that I get to ride in when I feel like it. So I'm not paying that much for a car. No, that's stupid.
Yeah, you're gonna be my business advisor. Fuck that, because I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. Oh yeah, I gotta ask you this because I think you done brought this up before. Natural body or enhancements? Where do you fall on the discussion?
I'm okay with enhancements if they look natural.
No. Go to the gym, bitch. Jesus Christ.
That's not true. So
do some squats.
I got work done and I go to the gym.
You did?
I got a breast lift. It's still like I ain't got no implants in there or nothing, but you know, I got them raised a little bit, you know.
Is that different? I think that's different.
Is it though?
You just got your shit lifted up.
But look, if I have another baby, I'm getting it tucked, sucked, lifted, all of that. But it's gonna look natural. It's not gonna look like like it's gonna look real natural. It's happening.
Man, look, man.
And I go to the gym, but I hate the gym. I go like
you the first person that got me on the keto shit.
I got a Peloton. I got I got a treadmill and a bike right here next to me. But I hate the fucking gym.
Oh
I hate it. Fuck that shit. Look,
to all the friends of this show, y'all know how I'm rocking, man. Keep that fake shit away from me.
But if you don't know it's fake, how would you know?
Okay, that's another thing. I don't know if I've ever talked to a woman who has some work done. I don't know.
See?
If you out there, baby, keep that shit
If
on
you
the hush
out
hush,
there,
man.
baby, don't tell me. Don't tell me I'm gonna look at you different,
Yeah.
baby girl.
They keep that on the hush hush. I just have a problem with like, because like you said, if a woman got kids and shit like that, I get it. But it's like I know chicks that's 20 years old.
Right.
That's straight like done up, ass blew
Yeah,
the
that's
fuck up,
stupid.
titties
Cause
blew
I'm
the
like,
fuck up.
you ain't even grown into your grown woman body yet. Like,
Exactly. You
chill.
don't know what the fuck you finna look like. You could have
Right.
eventually had that shit. You just waited.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I feel you on that. I do.
I didn't know you had work done though. Is that recent shit? I do
No,
take a
that
while
was
to get a retwist, so.
that was relax. That was 2018. I told you it was a good year.
Oh, nigga, that's when I met you. Yeah, so you already had the shit.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, nigga, you already had the shit by the time I came around. But
Yeah.
you was wilding the fuck out. Why we didn't talk about that? Jesus Christ. You went and got shit done. You
We
oh
gotta
my
get
God.
on the next episode of
Real talk. 20s or hundreds. You got a stack of money. It's all the same amount of money. You want a stack of 20s or a stack of hundreds?
20.
Yeah, I'm a 20 nigga. I don't like breaking hundreds. When I got 20s, I spend that shit like crazy.
Yeah, but that's probably why I probably need hundreds. But 20s for sure.
That's why I don't be saving money like that. Burgers or tacos?
Tacos. I only eat chicken. So I can't even unless you give me an impossible burger from like Red Robin or something.
I've never had Red Robin or an Impossible Burger.
Yo, can we go together? Yo, Red Robin Impossible Burgers? Like, yo, my boyfriend prefers those over fucking beef and he eats beef.
You told
Yes.
me that, yeah.
And
I
Red
stay
Robin
right
gives you
across the street from
unlimited
that
French
motherfucker.
fries. You
They
get
got unlimited French fries?
Yes, bottomless.
I'm a fries ass nigga. I ain't gonna fake it.
Right.
I think I'm sold. But your boyfriend, he be experimenting with food and shit, don't he? What he be doing at Chick-fil-A? Mixing the chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese and shit?
Oh, did you try it yet?
No. No. I still haven't had mac and cheese from Chick-fil-A though. That's the only reason why I ain't had it. I still ain't had mac and cheese yet.
All right. And when we schedule your retwist for, I'm gonna just have to bring you some.
You still it. I'm fucking around. I'm gonna get it next couple of days and I'm gonna tell you how I like it, man.
Yeah.
Mondays or Fridays?
Mondays.
I'm a Mondays nigga too. Why? Why are you a Mondays person though? Yeah, I love them. That's
I'm
my
a
favorite
Mondays
day of the week.
person because it's my day off. I don't work Sunday, Monday, Thursday. So Fridays I gotta work, and then Saturday I gotta work. But why are you a Mondays type of person?
I love Mondays because Mondays is the day where it goes by the fastest for me, and that's the day where I feel like I'm the most focused. And I think that's why the day goes by fast because everything is like on point, and all that. I hate Fridays. I always hated Fridays though, like because I'm thinking about the weekend too much, and I feel like Fridays drag along.
Because you're trying to get to Saturday. I feel it.
My best, if you're trying to talk to me, my best day of the week is a Monday. That's for anybody out there. I'm in a good mood on that day. Tuesdays, I might kill you, bitch. Hip hop or R&B?
Ooh. I'll go with hip hop.
Gangster shit. I know it's some gangster
but
shit.
Look, I'm gonna only the reason why I'm going with hip hop is not gangster.
Why is it?
Because I like to karaoke rap songs.
Oh my God.
That's not gangster at all.
In the car or what?
No, at the karaoke spot.
Oh, like, no, you wilding out. No, you wilding.
I be on stage rapping. I will show you a video like rapping, like I'm doing everybody's verse, all of it.
I've done karaoke. Like legitimately one time. I was on a cruise and they had karaoke night. I got up there and what was I singing? Oh, like Robin Thicke. The Closer I Get to You. That's my shit.
Oh man.
That's
my number one karaoke song that I always start with. Don't judge me. Ja Rule Put It On Me, featuring Vita and Little Mo, and I have to do everybody's lyrics. All three of them.
That's your shit. All three.
And that's my shit. Everybody.
Karaoke karaoke is like that's some of the best shit ever created. I ain't gonna lie to you. That puts you in a different space.
It is. I love it.
So let me ask you this: we both some travelers. You travel way more than me. Female Christopher Columbus type shit.
Oh gosh.
Cruise or resort?
I would say a cruise.
I'm a cruise nigga myself.
I would say a cruise, and it's funny because I only been on one cruise before.
Me too.
But
we talking about we experienced and shit. Yeah.
Yes, cruise for us.
Right. I've been on 7 of those. No, I've been on 1.
Right, 1. And I think because you get to go to more places on a cruise than just going to one resort, you're in one spot. The cruise, I can hit 4 countries or 4 cities or whatever. And so I feel like you experience more with the cruise.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's literally the exact same reason. Like when I go to a resort, it's like I feel like the environment got a better chance of being dead at a resort. Because when you go to a resort, you're literally there for a reason. You with a motherfucker, you either in your room or you got some special event planned.
Yep.
On a cruise, y'all niggas on the ship.
Right.
Y'all been turn up in this water and then go land somewhere and have fun. So I'm a cruise nigga myself. Yep. When you gonna travel again? Like out with all this COVID shit?
I don't even know. I'm an anti-vaxxer. Here. I am. I'm an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, motherfucker, wait a minute. Hold on. How the fuck you an anti-vaxxer? You was stuffing that motherfucking me thermostat on my forehead every time I came in there. You should just
because I'm an anti-vaxxer, okay?
You should have been like, come on in, nigga, it's all good.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, I'm cool on that.
I got it.
Vaccinated, so they ain't gonna let me go nowhere in a minute, to be honest.
You gonna hate that shit. You not gonna last. You gonna go get it just to travel.
But you think they gonna really like?
Yeah.
You think they gonna really like stop us?
Yeah.
I mean, got these fake vaccine cards and shit.
Don't go down for that felony. Don't catch that felony. Not that one.
I'm gonna be in jail with my exes.
Right. They're like, so you came to me. You really do love me, huh? That's what they're gonna say. But I did get vaccinated though. I did go get it. I hate saying it out loud because my job don't know it yet. But like, I did go get it just because I seen a lot of people in my family die from it type shit.
Right.
And I just don't want to be the reason another motherfucker die.
Right. No, I get that.
That's the reason why I got it. But everything else, I don't be caring about that shit like that for real.
Yeah, yeah. Moving on.
Don't cough around me. I tell you that much.
Right, and I was all coughing and shit. Stop it. Drink water again.
You like let me see, winter or summer?
Can I say spring?
You better keep it real because you're not from here.
Can I say fall?
You like fall?
I like fall.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess you want to break the rules. Damn, I mean,
I like fall. Okay, if I had to abide by the rules, I would say winter. My birthday's in January. I live in Arizona, so we don't really have a winter. I was wearing my toes out in a dress like a couple days ago. But also, I like dressing for winter. I like sweaters, coats, and boots, and scarves and shit. I like dressing for winter.
Why you like fall? Give me hip on fall. What the fuck is in fall besides October? I mean, like Halloween.
Yeah, I love Halloween. I have a Halloween party every year. I love Halloween, but I like it's not too cold, but it's cold enough that I could like wear some UGG boots or some like Docs or something.
Yeah.
And I could like throw on like a jacket and people don't look at me crazy. I just like the attire for fall.
Yeah. I'm a winter nigga. I miss snowy Christmases.
I feel that. Yeah, I can't believe Christmas is in like 2 weeks. Like that shit's wild to me.
It is, isn't it?
It's the 12th. Mm-hmm.
I ain't bought nobody shit.
Me either.
Hey, it'll be all right.
Amazon Prime.
I'm using your account. Fuck it.
All right, run it.
Christmas or New Year's? Which holiday you fuck with the most?
I would say Christmas. I don't really like New Year's.
No? You don't throw New Year's parties and shit like that?
See, so my birthday's January the 3rd, so it's right next to New Year's.
Pointless, yeah. You should turn up even more then.
It's too much shit happening. Should be more expensive for no reason. It be cold outside to be trying to wear dresses and cute. Like it be crowded. I'm gonna go with Christmas. I'm gonna go with Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not a Christmas nigga. That's like some other shit.
Why not?
That's
some trauma.
Yeah, trauma. Now my dad died on 23rd of December.
Oh.
And then my grandpa died on 23rd December as well, like years apart, but they had the same birthday.
That's
too.
wild.
Kind of weird. Yeah.
That is. So they had the same birthday and death day.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Not death day, but yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, basically.
You want to hear something crazy? I don't know
Sure.
if you know, my husband's birthday was January 23rd, 123, and he died March 21st, 321.
Oh shit! Don't you got that tattoo?
I do.
Oh my god, that is some crazy shit. It's always weird when dates work like that. You know what I mean?
It's bizarre as fuck.
That's some wild ass shit. That is truly some wild ass shit.
It is.
But that's all I got on the docket. You know what I mean? I do want to say this, before I wrap this podcast up once again. Thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming on this podcast, giving us this dope ass conversation. You know what I mean? Like I said, you are a dope individual. You inspire me. It takes a lot to inspire me. I'm gonna be honest with you. It takes a lot, and you doing you and you being the person that you are. I'm happy you are who you are. I'm happy that the goals you got set in life. I'm happy what you got going forward. I ain't even talking about how you having a job and you giving other motherfuckers jobs. Like that's the shit motherfuckers be talking about. And you be telling me you a normal motherfucker. You not normal. Just you giving motherfuckers jobs. You giving motherfuckers opportunity to feed their families. You doing it, man. You raising your daughter throughout the situation y'all went through. You being hands-on with that. I see her every time I'm in that motherfucker. It's just you doing a damn thing, Bree. Like I truly do respect you. I got love for you. You are one of them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy you came on the pod, giving us your time. And I'm just happy that I know you. I truly am.
No, but I appreciate you having me. Like, thank you. What? The first female woman on here? What? Yeah. But no, like I said, I'm glad that you did this. You 71 episodes in, and you almost to that 100 mark. You about to be there before you know it. Like, that shit wild.
That shit coming
and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. You keep getting better. I'm glad to know you, and I appreciate you having me on here.
Definitely, for sure. And I take that compliment very highly because you know how much I respect you. But I want to say, shout out to everybody around the world that's tapped in, joining the conversation. Everybody supporting this podcast on each and every platform: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audio Mac, Anchor. You're watching the Untitled FN YouTube channel. What up? Ring that bell, subscribe, like, leave a comment, all that good shit. Go ahead and check out my girl Bree on IG at BriBucks. Check out the shop, All Mixed Up Beauty Lounge at 590 North Alma School Road, Unit 13, Chandler, AZ 85224. Once again, check her out on Instagram at BriBucks, man. She got a lot of shit pop. She got a lot of things going on that can help you better your life and just help you spread positivity and shit that's going on in these trenches, man. But you know how I give it up on this side. You know what I'm saying? It's all love these ways. Never let them sidetrack you with the bullshit. Always keep the main thing the main thing. Stay safe, stay sharp, stay sane. Fuck it, man. I'll holler at y'all next week, man. We out this motherfucker. Bree, I love you, girl. Good shit, man.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Bye.